Are you ready? Can crush us. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Gotta shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody, power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah, Can Crushers. Yeah, Can Crushers. Let's go.
What's up, guys? It is my girl T Gaines here. I don't know what you're doing at the moment, but my advice to you is to pop open a can and slam some suds with the Can Crushers.
That's so fake. You did not do hello. I didn't hear you.
I did do hello. My voice dropped halfway in it, and then it was just. Well, you know, things drop. Things happen. What's going on?
To Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Mark the Mark. That's Sir Michael Jenks, and I am also the voice of High Ground Pro Wrestling.
What? Since when? I don't believe it.
Yeah.
We gotta. Well, now we can't wait any longer. How did this go? How was it last Saturday?
Well, you ask? You ask, you may say?
I'm gonna ask.
It was fan-fucking-tastic. Let's not beat around the bush. It was awesome. Kind of did a little bit of a split thing with another guy that was there. I did some interviews. I did some announcing. I did some stuff backstage. It wasn't just complete announcing for this show. This was Mark is getting his hands wet and into everything he possibly can. And it worked out fantastic because said man is no longer coming back, and Mark.
Wait a minute.
And Mark is now completely on his own, rolling with the punches, doing his own pre-show, doing all this other stuff, and just busy backstage as well in between matches.
So you kick someone else out of the role?
Kick anybody else out of the role. It was a friend of a friend doing something in case something didn't happen and da-da-da-da-da. And then all of a sudden, the owners are like, and I'm going to pat myself on the back because I don't do it enough. I was told this. I don't do it enough from a couple people. They said, what are you doing? Holy cow, run with it. And I did. I did some pre-game stuff, pre-event stuff, and just like kind of rolled it into a podcast in ring to kind of kill some time during the pre-show because things were a little bit ahead of schedule. Rolled into this, rolled into that, learned some technical things in the back. And they're like, are you going to do this all the time? I'm like, this is me. I'm busy. They're like, they called the next day and said, hey, here you go. It's all yours. Run with it. I'm like, wait, what? They're like, everything you just did last night, it's yours.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at you.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, you should pat yourself on the back.
And it feels, listen, I'm really going to gloat. It feels good to have that. Like, I knew Shelby Waters. I had Nathaniel on the show. I had a couple other guys on the show. I rolled in, and I'm boisterous. I talk a lot. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
For, 15 years now? You know that.
Yeah.
I go in. I'm shaking everybody's hand, kissing babies, slapping people on the ass. What's up? Hey, whoa. I'm diving right in. Like, they're setting up the Jumbotron and everything. I'm like, what can I do? They're looking at me like, slow your fucking roll. I'm like, that's not going to happen. I'm holding curtains. I'm doing this. I'm tightening up this. I'm tightening up that. They're like, you don't have to. I'm like,
I'm here.
I'm here. This is what I do. I'm going. They're like, all right. Wrestlers came in. They're like, hey, what are you gonna do? I'm like, I want to know this. I want to know this. I don't know who you are. I want to know this. I want to know this. A wrestler from my past revisited as well, because I wasn't sure if he was going to be there. OVW wrestlers came back around, and as soon as he walked in, him and his girlfriend, and they'll be on the show, so I'm not going to be completely giving names away. They'll be on the show shortly in time. Just kind of like jumped and like, Mark? And I'm like, hey. And they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, you moved here from Kentucky? I'm like, I never was living in Kentucky. I made that trip a couple times. They're like, well, we now moved here. I'm like, I'm 4 hours away from here. Wait, what? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're here? I'm like, yeah, I'm here. And it rolled from there. We got stuff going, and Kelly had fun, she told me.
Oh, yeah? Wow. Very nice.
I know.
Oh, that's awesome.
You saw some pictures on my personal Facebook.
Yep.
If you're a friend of me, it was awesome, Jenks. I'm done gloating. Now personal feelings. Man, to get back in that ring and just do some announcing and do kind of like interviews in the ring and stuff backstage. Kelly's like, you were smiling the whole night. You haven't done that in a while. I'm like, yeah. So all those people that wrote stuff, you look good, nice hat, and you're in your element. Yeah, I am.
Nice.
Listen to me brag. Yeah, I am. I'm going to do it this time.
That's amazing. That is fantastic.
Amazing people. You won't hear the end of High Ground Pro Wrestling ever, because if it's a one and done and they call me tomorrow and say, all right, you gloated too much on your podcast. Cool your jets. Thanks for coming. Here comes the wall. I love them all. Everybody there was unbelievable. And they just like, yeah, I asked for feedback. They're like, the owner's owner loved you. Okay. Cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So, cheers.
Cheers.
By the way, peace tea, favorite.
I was going to say, you drinking, that looked like a tea, not a pounder. So,
But Pounder may be coming. No, I can't have a bad night tonight of alcohol wise. I'm going to choke though.
well, let's not do that. You got to save those cockles. You got announcing to do. You got an announcing career ahead of you now. You got to save those cockles.
But I have CPR class tomorrow. As you guys
fair.
I have CPR class to get renewed and all of that. So I can't be going in.
Wasted.
Yeah, wasted.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That essentially carried me through the week. Ups and downs of rain and everything. Me just getting the whole okay that I am on board for High Ground Pro Wrestling. Made my week. Did find out though today that April's show canceled.
I saw that pop up.
Essentially, listen, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's the day before Easter. I don't know I might be speaking out of line. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys, if I am, if you're listening to this. It just, the day before Easter, a lot of stuff probably won't line up well. The crowd would maybe be a little bit down. Just a lot of circumstances outside of that as well. That I do know one thing that you're like, we had to pump the brakes real quick. So yeah, we'll be back in May. This was a test ground. We'll be back on May 13th as tentatively scheduled back in Mayfield, Pennsylvania. I'd like people to come that I know. So maybe drag your asses. But yeah. And I'm not saying, I'm not finger pointing at you, but
that's fair. I got time to plan, right?
Maybe we can do something. I will. Kelly probably won't go, so have 3 seats if anybody wants to go and come back the same day, because that will be a go and come back. So, yeah,
that's fair. Oh,
But
man.
that carried me through the week until today. And like, oh, there's no show in April. Sad day. But I do have other things going on in April for the other podcast, and that's train wrecks going to happen at some point. I see this happening. Beginning of April, WrestleMania, Paranormal Thing, the Blue and Gold game, all back to back to back weekend.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And then another Paranormal Thing. April's done.
Yeah. You're a busy man.
I don't want to say it, but something may have to come to a head because there's one baby, and I think we're on it right now. And I hate to say that. I'm not finger pointing, but it might be coming to an end. We're just passing the buck to somebody else.
Fair enough.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later. I'm sorry. A rough way to find out, Jason, if you're listening. So how was your week, kind sir?
Oh my God. Not as eventful or exciting, I don't think, as yours, but it wasn't too bad. Nothing crazy. Drove home in a snowstorm of sorts on Sunday, so that was fun. But honestly, I did not have anything crazy happen this week. It was a lot. Hey,
that's knocking on wood for you, because don't be fucking jinxing it.
I'm not trying to. It was a long week at work, but that is what it is. It's just we're getting stuff out the door this week. This weekend I got to work, so everything's coming to a head for that. Outside of that, I'm taking it, relaxing with it. I'm rolling with it. I had some fantasy baseball drafts I had to do, so that was on.
Baseball.
I got
we don't
baseball.
Talk about baseball.
We don't talk about baseball at all on this podcast, but yeah, I had two this week. I had one Monday and then one last night. The one last night was the pay league, so I used Mondays as my kind of mock draft of sorts to kind of get what I needed to do in that. But number one pick overall in the pay league. So
Trout, Ohtani.
I went Judge on that one. Took Aaron Judge. Then what did I take? I did pick up Ohtani as a pitcher. In the league on Monday, I was able to get Ohtani as the batter and the pitcher. So I have both sides of Ohtani. So that team's probably going to be stacked. I'm probably going to finish dead last with this pay league team now, the way I did last year. So it's the only reason I got number one pick. But I can let me pull up my roster while I'm talking about it. But yeah.
So Judge in a pay league, number one overall. Tell me about that. And by the way, folks, we are going to be talking a lot about baseball. By the way, the Savannah Bananas playing in 4 minutes, Jenks.
Oh, they on in 4 minutes? Oh boy, I better turn that on.
MLB as recording. MLB the show came out, and I bought it today on a whim. But it really doesn't come out until April, so you know how much I spent on it today.
It's all pretty penny.
It was $100. Listen,
yeah.
But I got my check from, and we'll get to your lineup here in a second. I got my check from radio because end of season now is over. You get paid per season when you're doing the sports stuff. It ended up being a lot more than I thought. So I'm like, well, I should be a good human being and pay some bills and do some shit and give some to the family. I'm going to keep 100 to play with to fucking burn it. And I thought, all right. At one point, I was going to buy, and I understand this doesn't add up, so calm down. I was going to buy both generic versions of wrestling and baseball. Wrestling to play for about 3 days and baseball to play Tuesday. I only wanted wrestling for war games and a couple bloodline things.
Yeah.
And then I watched another review. And the reviews are amazing. Don't get me wrong. I've heard this is one of the best games out there of all time. But I noticed one thing. I still hate the reversals. I still hate the B. I hate the X, the Y, the this to that, to this to that, to do a fucking headlock. I want Smash Mouth or Smash Button or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's essentially when I asked you, what was it, 2 days ago or the other day? You're like, if you're getting it just for war games, wait. And this is not saying I might not buy it when it's $29.99 in 6 months.
Right.
I just couldn't fathom spending that much on it when I hate as a 46-year-old man. I hate the controller setup. I'm not good at it. So that got put aside. Then I was like, well, I'll just buy baseball and save $40. And then I'm sitting at home and I'm like, why? Why can't I spoil myself? So I spent $100 on baseball, downloaded it in 15 minutes, and played for 5 hours.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And said, oh shit, we have a podcast to do.
Oh my God. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. But to the point about WWE, I saw a couple of videos online. The glitches are happening. Obviously, they're going to send patches out to fix those. But to me, I also played into, this is the first year for War Games, and I don't think it's going to operate well. Or it's almost like first year of a brand new model of a car. You kind of don't want to buy that car.
Something's going to happen.
Something's going to happen. Something's not right in it. So you kind of just put it off, and I'm like, I'm just going to wait on this. Let everything simmer down. To your point, maybe I buy it in 6 months, maybe. But you know what? I still have a very perfectly good wrestling game right here that I have at home. Yeah, doesn't have the bloodline stuff, but it still works out pretty well, and I'm enjoying a good time with it. And I just beat Roman Reigns for the Universal title. So, you know, hey, things happen.
And AEW might be out in 6 months.
Maybe. But we're not going to put our chickens in that basket or our eggs in that basket, whatever the hell that saying is.
Yeah,
we're not putting no produce in that basket whatsoever.
None.
Nothing. Doesn't even fucking get a green.
Go ahead. You do because I'm now getting to I'm gonna turn on the what the hell do you call it game?
The Savannah Banana. Yeah, I'm doing the same. But the rhyme or reason behind Judge, because if you go to Yahoo League and a lot of different leagues that I saw out there, they were putting Trey Turner, Acuna, and Judge 1, 2, 3 in some sort of order. And that way, Mike Trout in my league to that point didn't get drafted till 13th.
Oof. For real?
For reals. And like, so me sitting there, I'm like, you know what? I'm not sold on Acuna too much. I know he's good. I know he's really good. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, I'm not sold on him. Played with Trey Turner, thought about it a little bit. And I'm like, you know what? I just want to get the power. Get me the powers, get me the home runs, and let's see where that takes me. So, excuse me, that's kind of where my drafting strategy went in that aspect of it.
I could be wrong. Maybe the Bananas are not playing.
I was going to say, I don't even see a game on here.
Yeah, I don't either. So.
Okay. Anyways.
Right.
So my first 5 rounds, because I won't go through every round. There's like 20 of them. But Aaron Judge, and this is a Serpentine League, so it comes around. I didn't draft again till the 10th pick of the second round. So got Pete Alonso. I did take Tatis because he is coming back in 12 games. So I'm like, you know what? I like the shortstop. I can bench him for a little bit and kind of hold it. Hopefully that'll be good. Picked up Shohei as a pitcher, and then picked up Urias as a pitcher as well. So I picked up a couple pitchers. It was an okay draft. I'm not saying I was in love with all of it, but it'll do the trick.
I will beat down one. I don't like the Tatis pick that high.
That's fair. He was going about 4 picks later, so it didn't. I don't know. I get it. I just wasn't like.
I just think he's a bag of dick.
That's fair.
The San Diego Padres will win a lot during the regular season with him, Machado, and Soto. They will never win a World Series with the 3 of them on that team. I will state that right now. Never win a World Series with the 3 of them on that team.
Fair enough.
What do we want to bet?
I'm not betting anything.
I'm saying if there's San Diego, if my aunt's listening right now, and she's a San Diego Padres fan, I will eat whatever. I will eat a big bag of dicks if they do. They're not going to. No, there's too much headspace in that locker room between those three, and it's not even Soto that I'm blaming. It's the other two.
Oh, I get that.
So
I get that wholeheartedly. But no, that's fair.
And I just don't like him. I think he's. I don't like calling people the C word, and I'm not saying the female anatomy one. I don't like that either. But the word that goes around like locker rooms and it's a disease, it kills people from smoking and chewing, and I don't like calling people that word because it's a bad word to call people. Like, I don't want him dead.
Right.
But he's a human piece of shit in the gist of things. I just don't like him.
That's fair.
So,
I argue that. It's totally fair. I got nothing. I mean, hey.
Off of a different tangent.
We got Mark going this time, so.
So real quick, 20 minutes in, I do have a couple things hot topics I want to talk about, but real quick about baseball. I started the Diamond Dynasty right off the bat because I want to beat the shit out of my cousin. I'll get around to the franchise. By the way, the franchise has always been my favorite part of that baseball game. It really is. I love just the franchise and just the making the money and getting your team good, starting with a crap team, which are the Tigers are a crap team, and just continue to build them up through draft picks and everything. Second favorite mode, Road to the Show. It's always fun. I see that you could be a two-way player again this year. I don't know if I liked it that much last year. It was you got to balance it. You clearly have to because it's a part of the fucking game. But you got to balance if you're going to be good at pitching, good at head. And I'm crushing home runs, but I'm 9.99 ERA. You know, I'm pitching 1/3 of an inning a game, less than Joe Bimel. So I just want to go back to being a hitter. Let me just hit dingers. Me and what's that fat kid from ESPN?
Oh my God, what's his name? I'm Big Dave or something like that. And I hit dingers.
Yeah, that kid. That's all I want to do.
That kid. I would love to be that kid when I grow up. Just the swag of that child, unmatched.
It's a random name. It's like Doug or Frank or like an old name. And no disrespect to anybody that has that name. Jesus, Mark, God. But it's an older name, you know. Well, this is Willard, and I hit dingers.
Big Al Delia.
Al. Al.
Big Al.
Yeah.
Big Al.
So I'm gonna hit dingers. I do like. I've tinkered a little bit. I like the World Baseball Classic. I do want to get on this with you. Actually,
let's do it.
The World Baseball Classic is on it, and yeah. But all right, let's transition to baseball for about 5 seconds or minutes or whatever. The World Baseball Classic, Jenks. Did you intake a lot of it? Did you enjoy it? Did you watch some of it?
I did watch some of it. I did enjoy it. I mean, how could you not? It was pretty damn good. So,
how are you about the injury bug that hit like 3 big players, essentially?
Yeah, Hopkins, Diaz, and then I can't remember the third off the top of my head. Altuve, that's right. It's unfortunate. Don't get me wrong. It's very unfortunate. Do I think it's a cause of the World Baseball Classic? Absolutely not, because you have spring training that happens every year. These guys are playing in spring training every single year. So if they're not doing it at the World Baseball Classic, they're doing it at spring training. It's not to me, it was what it was. It happens. Injuries happen all the time. And honestly, they're just going out for their team. It's like if somebody gets hurt at the Olympics, you're not going to chastise them because they're hurt at the Olympics. They made the fucking Olympics.
Right.
So
Kyle Schwarber said this is the Olympics for baseball.
yeah,
He said this
exactly.
prior to people getting hurt.
Yep.
Edwin Diaz to wear that Puerto Rican jersey means more than playing in the first fucking 81 games for the Mets. I will say that.
Oh, I would say that too. I would die on that hill, because that you're representing your home country in a tournament that gets world acclaim and all that.
And
I mean,
build money for your home country's baseball league. Like the people that played from Czechoslovakia or the Czech Republic, it's the same thing, right?
yeah,
Am I an idiot? Yeah.
it's the same.
For the Czech.
They've changed that letter name a lot. Just call it Czech.
Yeah, they played for the Czech. Were mechanics, doctors, babysitters, your mom's boyfriend, sister's third cousin. They were just normal people. One person was in the MLB.
Bailey agrees.
And you know how much for them to make the World Baseball Classic, I'm not sure what they made, but I'm saying if they got $1 million to bring back over to the Czech to show these little kids how to play, that's a win. Same thing with Australia. I know they moved on. In Italy and Israel, all these teams that you don't know if they have baseball or not. By the way, I was telling Kelly, hey, the Czech has, doctors and lawyers and farmers and whatever. She's like, they don't play baseball there. I'm like, baseball is the last thing undermined in the Czech.
Oh, yeah.
This is just starting. What are they, a fifth world country? That's probably going to get us canceled. But, listen, they're like, baseball isn't a thing there.
Yeah, baseball is not a thing.
Watched YouTube and learned how to play baseball, made the World Baseball Classic. That's what it's about, to bring the knowledge of baseball and the love of baseball around. So, yes. By the way, Reese Hopkins got hurt in the spring training game.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
I was the one then started to get the banned spring training because Reese Hopkins, looking like a baby deer walking for the first time, broke his body.
Yeah. You're right. He did. These guys are representing their home countries. To your point, they're bringing in millions of dollars or whatever it is to their countries, to their programs and that. But let's take it one step further. What does this mean to their countries? Well, it may not mean as much to the U.S. because it depends on how many people are watching it now. Just look at how many people in Japan were watching the World Baseball Classic. At almost 75%, I think I saw, was tuned in for the World Baseball Classic. That's astronomical numbers. You got to be kidding me. They were there to cheer on their home team, their team, to get them through the finals. And hell, so was Tozawa and Io Sky. They were there in person watching the fucking baseball the finals. Yeah. They were watching Japan win the game. So
tell me this doesn't mean more than, and I'm not knocking. I will watch a spring training game tomorrow as I'm doing CPR class.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking that. But don't tell me that they couldn't have gotten hurt mowing the lawn the same way.
Exactly. All it takes is one misstep on some uneven surface, and you're down for the count. Yeah. They could have did this just being in their hotel room, walking to an elevator. Stranger things have happened in MLB. I mean, Bauer got injured with a drone on his finger for 21 stitches. So anything can happen.
Right.
It just depends on timing. It's bound to happen. Your body just breaks down at some point. And you know what? For Diaz's sake, he went hard last year. One of the best, if not the best closer last year. Great walkout song of the year. But
I agree. That I'm bummed we're not going to be able to hear that.
I know, that's what I'm bummed about. It's not hearing that. But listen, this guy put it all on the line. And this year, it's just unfortunately tore, I think his ACL it was. So he tore his ACL. It happens. Doing that to your body, especially as pitchers throwing, Tommy John surgery is right. It's that shadow in back of your mind. It is always there. It's always looming. And you throw it too hard one last time, and it just snaps. You're gone. We see you in about 18 months and hope for the best for you. So it just happens. The injury bug gets the best of us, and it's nothing we can do about it. It doesn't matter if you're doing World Baseball Classic, spring training, taking a crap, garbage throwing, standing or walking across the street, in my case, just walking across the street. You fall, shit happens. You just got to pick your shit ass up and go again. But that's the way it goes. So
speaking of people being hurt, Ronda Rousey out of Mania, confirmed. Yeah. She's got no meniscus, no ACL, anything like that. She won't get cleared. That's a shot. That is a shot for WrestleMania because, noteworthy to drag other people into the business. Ronda Rousey is a name. Probably her and Shayna were going to be in that scramble, if anything.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. To keep on the injury bug, Josh Alexander, TNA, he's got to give up his fucking time. And that sucks because I'm a huge Josh Alexander fan. He was just going to run the gamut, continue and hold his title. He's out. Mickie James out as well. Just a lot of injuries here, and it sucks. It really sucks.
It does suck a lot. I mean, the one other name, although I think she's coming back, is Perez now. I think that sounds like she's been cleared. So there's a good silver lining, but it sucks. It sometimes this time of year gets people in wrestling big time. If I think about
going too damn hard, I'm not saying you're going too hard.
You're trying your damnedest to build up that weekend. And it's not even in WWE because we'll go to Impact, we'll talk ROH, we'll talk Smoky Mountain, if that was still around, all of these different organizations in that Mid-Atlantic, whoever, there's going to be a lot of major promotions that go cross country that go to the Mecca wherever WrestleMania is and have independent shows in that area that weekend because the crowds are there to go to them and they can make ticket sales. They can get in front of people. They can get people to come to their shows. So people are going hard to sell those shows, to push the product, to get people to more or less recognize what's going on with their brand so that they would come to it on a random they're there Tuesday through the next Wednesday. I'm going to go on a Tuesday night to Bill Bob's Professional Wrestling in a fucking diner somewhere.
Here, I'm telling you, the whole week, just don't even think about my life. Midnight showing of Evolve Part 3, I'm there.
I love it. I mean, it's in Philadelphia. It's close next year. But that's the point. People are going hard to push the product. And if I think of the one year that I just remember, it was injury bug after injury after injury after injury. WrestleMania 32 was completely stripped down to the bare bones. Yeah. It was the shit show. Cesaro was down. Cena was technically down, made an appearance, but couldn't do much. Things of that nature. There were so many big stars that were just out for that show. Sometimes you got to regroup and recover. This year, the injury bug's hit. We didn't even touch on Bray, which that seems to be an injury in its own self, at least a broken hand from what I saw. And then, so what are they going to do with that? What are plans shifting for that?
Well, Bob has LA Knight in his eyes now.
And I love that match. I actually love that match better than him and Bray, to be honest. I think Bray and him should never cross paths.
And hopefully they don't.
I hope they don't. Yeah. I think it's beautiful. I think it's intervention here because the same thing happened with Brock and Bray. I think I don't know what the hell is going on, but there's intervention here protecting Bray, and it should happen. But LA Knight and Bob's a lot more appealing than now. Is it going to be a squash match? Probably, but
I also want to bring up, and this is Mark speculating. I don't know. Carmella? Well, because listen, we'll get to it on Raw as well, but her and Chelsea being BFFs for 6 weeks now, and then Carmella is MIA. Like, listen, I follow Leah a lot.
Yeah.
And I will throw that out there. I follow Leah a lot. Her and Matt went to the USO Awards or whatever.
Okay, you read the same way I did. I'm like, fuck are the USO Awards? It's the USO, guys, if you haven't seen it yet. But
they went to the USOs, but she can go to that if there's an injury. Her and Matt, her and Corey Graves. I hope, if anything, let me throw this out there, and if I'm the first one to throw it out there and it's wrong, I apologize. I hope she's pregnant again. I hope this is why she can't be at Mania.
I completely agree. I hope it's that, and that would be fantastic for them. With everything that happened last year, this would be even more beautiful and sweet if that was the case, and they were able to bring a baby into this world. That'd be fantastic.
But if it's just to get Piper Nevin in, I am so fucking pissed off, and I hate all of this. Essentially. And then they lost anyway. But
yeah.
One last thing I have before we actually transition into actually talking about the shows and stuff. Just posted late last night, or right now, as Jenks and I are talking. Stone Cold was talked to about him and Cena having a dream match, if he would mind doing it. I'll let you read the article. Go back and read the article, whatever. You want to see that, Jenks? If the stars could align, essentially, that's what he said. It could possibly, but he's never thought about it, is what Stone Cold said.
Is it a dream match that I've thought about and craved for? Absolutely not. Is it a dream match I'd watch? Abso-fucking-lutely, because that's the two biggest stars in this in the history of the business. And you want to get at me with Hogan and that? It's not close.
And The Rock and Triple H.
And The Rock, to me, it's not close. Austin far above number one. Cena number two in the past 20 years. I mean, there's just nothing. And what Cena's done for the business outside of it is way more than whatever Hogan has done. And there comes the hate comments on that one.
And destroyed.
But I'd watch it. But I'll go back and drag Hogan into this. Hell, 20 years ago, guys, we would have paid to see Austin and Hogan one-on-one. I would have. I mean, like NWO Hogan, even not even NWO Hogan. Just give me Hogan and Austin.
Yeah.
When they hinted at it at the Hall of Fame in 2005, we just needed it. We just wanted it. We would have loved to seen it. So to me, this is another iteration of that. It's Cena and Hogan, or it's Cena and Austin, the two biggest stars of their time period, going head to head.
I'd love to see it. I really would. I don't need it to be a banger. Nope. It actually would end up being a banger, just those two going at it. It doesn't need to be a Steamboat Flair match, a Steamboat Savage match. It's just two sons of bitches in there wrestling and doing what they do best.
Two sons of bitches brawling. It could be
10 minutes, and I'd call it a win.
Agreed. Let it just be no holds barred, like they did Cena and Austin Austin and Owens last year, and just let them fight.
Yeah.
Don't pretty it up. Just let them fight.
It's not a match.
It's not a match.
We're gonna call it like we do. It's a spectacle.
It's a spectacle match, exactly. Or
whatever. Yeah.
Yep. If these two guys were in their prime, it's a match. But these guys are just spectacle, big names on a card. That's what this match is designed to do, is just a spectacle match. And that's it. And it would be already 5 stars in my mind, because they're just going back and forth at each other.
5 3/4.
5 3/4. Yes.
I got nothing else.
Well,
you do. Yes.
I gotta bring it up. If you saw it last night, the drama, the deleted Instagram story from one CM Punk. Did you not see this?
Yeah.
With Mox and Jericho and Tony Khan thrown in there. The reason this comes up, I just saw a video that turned it into a Star Wars intro scroll, and it's fantastic. But I guess, what is your thoughts on this? Because I have...
It's too much. It's too much now to think. Listen, if it was last September, when did this happen?
Last September, yeah.
If it was last September, and we all were in that boat last September, boom, Fuck, he's never coming back. It was stupid what he did. We've talked about it for weeks now. This is just a build-up that you're going to get pissed off and CM Punk is coming back. I don't care. That's the only payoff that's coming out of this. Have it be with BCC, or Tony Khan's going to need a son of a bitch dirtier than dirt can bring back. So he's going to go get Punk himself and pull him out of, the grassroots of whatever. This is all going to be turned into an angle.
Yeah.
That's
it has to be. It has to fucking be. Like, why would you post it, delete it, and just start the shit? There's no reason to stir that shit. He never did. He did this when he left WWE. He only did the one podcast with Cole about it, and that was it.
Right.
After that, we never talked about it. We never heard about it. Punk was doing his UFC thing. That was it. There's too many things being referenced.
Too many fucking Indians.
Too many people just like, oh, let's bring this in, let's bring that in, let's bring this up. And Punk himself is tweeting and Instagram storying about it. Dog, you can't convince me that they're not promoting some sort of comeback.
Dog.
I'm just calling dog in general.
Okay.
It's carrying over. Leave me be. But it's just building up. That's all it is just like, oh, we're promoting something. We need to stir the pot a little bit in case people forgot. I would have loved that this would have just ended at the Brawl for All. Things happen, whatever. And then 10 years from now, we get a fucking Dark Side of the Ring on that episode. Fantastic episode. Let's give it an Emmy now. But now
it's just a work.
It's just a work. And now it's like, okay, it's lost significance in the long scheme of things.
It's double pecs torn. That's why he's off. Now he's getting better.
Yep. And now he's starting to heal. He's on the up and up. He's possibly training right now, and probably he'll show up in Vegas they'll play it as there's a UFC fight or whatever, and he's doing commentary there, and he pops up 3 hours later and he ends the show at just coming out to MJF.
Waving with an ice cream bar.
Wave, yep, exactly.
By the way, we forgot to bring up one thing. Did you see Alexa?
I did. Not winning, but singing damn good. Sang better than Jericho did at Masked Singer.
Right? I really always been an Alexa Bliss fan, but I really like her voice. I thought that was a perfect song. Like, I didn't watch it live. I didn't know she was on it until she got kicked off. But then I went back and I watched it. I thought she's got a great voice. I love that song, though. That song from Coyote Ugly, Leanne Ryan. Yep. I love that song. But I think she did a wonderful job. I would not have voted her out.
I would not have either. I would not have known it was her hearing it on a blind listen. To your point, I saw she was eliminated. Then I heard the song. I'm like, holy shit, she can sing. And that was
Cabrera's running off.
Right. Yeah, he's definitely giving her lessons or some shit, or she just could sing this whole time. So I'm very happy for it. But I also saw that she had some skin cancer or something along those lines removed. So eventful week for her. Winning for her. Eventful week for her. I'm happy she did it. I'm happy she put herself out there and Dancing with the Stars. Also,
Masked Singer.
I don't know why I said Dancing with the Stars. You know why? Because here's my point. I was gonna say, because I started thinking about Jericho doing it again, and he was on Dancing with the Stars, and then it all kind of bundled my waters in my head. I need drinks. I haven't had a drink in 24 days, so this is just not going well for me. But so we're but yeah, it's like, it was fantastic. I'm happy for her. I'm proud for her. And I'm glad that it was more or less she was doing some things that she really enjoyed, and not just WWE put her on hiatus because they didn't have anything for her. It seems like she had a lot of things going on, and a lot of things that are getting her back and healthy, as well as showcasing other talents that she may have. So that's fantastic.
Next week, I am going to drink heavily. I'm just going to throw this out.
I mean, I don't blame you one bit.
It's WrestleMania weekend. Once I leave work Friday night or afternoon and I roll in and I lock this door behind me, I'll see you Monday. Don't call, don't tag. And I'm not saying you, but like
Oh no, I get
the
it.
outside world. Don't just leave me alone. It's WrestleMania weekend. There's so much shit that's going to be on from Friday to Saturday to Sunday. Recovery. Just you'll hear our voices. That's good enough.
Yep.
But I already know I'm going to drink too.
No,
The
that's fair.
mother-in-law got back last weekend, but I didn't get time to go up. But Kel went up. She brought me rum from everywhere down in the Bahama area. And there's like a really spiced, dark red room rum from Turks and Caicos. That's the one I want to try first. Like there is, I don't know, a critter or a devil critter or something on it. So I imagine it's probably pretty deadly. So I might as well drink that for WrestleMania.
That's a good call. I promised myself I would go a month without drinking.
You're a good boy.
I was a good boy. It is WrestleMania is actually the end of the month.
It is.
31st ends the month. I can technically drink. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to open this bottle of whiskey that my sister and brother-in-law bought me when they were in Tennessee in September last year. It looks really good, looks very expensive, and it looks like it'll be a smooth drink to nice enjoy. So we'll see about that one. We'll see about cracking that one open. So I'm kind of excited about that, but it's going to be a good weekend next weekend. That's for sure.
It really is. I'm sure I'll ask you again next weekend. Is the girlfriend partaking in WrestleMania with you?
So next weekend is a Meadville weekend. I'm trying to figure out the logistics. I don't know if she's going to partake or if I'm going to.
Meadville weekend, so you have to be elsewhere to watch WrestleMania? You're not even going to be in your house?
Well, here's the thing.
Can't you trade a weekend?
Here's where I'm at. I think next weekend will be a day trip, and I'm coming back home to watch WrestleMania. I believe that's how it's going to work out. I don't know what day I'm making that trip, though. So
day is at 7 o'clock Saturday morning and back by
noon. I got too much.
I love you. On. Let's go to IHOP and let's go home. There's an IHOP in Meadville. I know this for a fact.
There isn't. It's Applebee's or bust.
Right.
But yeah, so I got to figure out the logistics. I tentatively should be back home so I can watch it either on the big screen or maybe with the guys from the 40-year. We'll see what happens with that. But more to come. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. Non-wrestling related, but it does circle back to baseball. So I wanted to know if you knew what the anniversary that's going on today is. And I'll give you a hint. It's 22 years ago today. Something significant in baseball happened.
24th, March 24th. Are you meaning day of podcast the 25th? It doesn't really matter.
No, I'm sorry. It's the day of us recording. So this Friday, when we're recording it, March 24th, 2021.
How many years ago?
22.
No, I'm out.
It's the fateful day.
Don't.
You know this for sure. It's the fateful day when Randy Johnson decided to take the life of a bird with a pitch. If you have not seen the clip,
oh my
guys,
God. I hate to say it's amazing.
It's I feel bad for the bird, but goddamn, that is a 1 in a billion chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. He should have went and played the lottery after that point because he
blew up a bird.
The bird blew up with whatever pitch he was throwing at it. It was gnarly.
High and tight.
Oh yeah, it was high and tight. And I got the clip playing here on repeat. But yeah, so.
Or that could be actually part of the thumbnail. I think it should be.
I think you have to.
All right, quickly. Use the word Can Crushers, all one word, at Collar and Elbow to save 10%. You can find us everywhere podcasts are. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're on all of that. And email us at cancrusher69@gmail.com. Short and sweet this week for that. Next week, we might go a little long. just to let you know, on all of that, because it's a WrestleMania one, so you have to get all grandiose with that stuff.
Yeah.
All
Very
right.
grandiose. We are pomp and circumstance, guys. It's all pomp and circumstance.
Let's give some love to AEW first. Round up with a WWE, because listen, next week we'll probably say, hey, AEW was on, because it's going to be a WrestleMania show. We're just covering bases right now. So, all right. Here comes Al Snow. Tell you more about Collar and Elbow, and we'll be back to talk AEW.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
This is Nathaniel Cunningham, and not only is Can Crushers podcast the home of the Bad Fellas, but it is also the home of High Ground Pro Wrestling.
Welcome back to Can Crushers, folks. Man, that is my favorite spot to return. Nathaniel Cunningham just saying, Can Crushers, the podcast of High Ground Professional Wrestling. Now, he does it a hell of a lot better than me, but he's stating the fact that we are the podcast for High Ground Professional Wrestling.
The official podcast.
Boys. Yeah, that's what that's what he says. That's what
it's the official podcast. It's music to your ears, isn't it?
Yes. And by the way, Savannah Bananas are on. They're on at 6:30 in Alabama.
So 7:30 our time. Okay. That makes sense.
They're playing where the Biscuits are tonight.
Oh, the Montgomery Stadium.
One of the best logos in baseball.
I love that logo. That is one hat I'm looking to get at some point, is a biscuit hat. Guys, if you haven't seen it, it's literally a biscuit with butter hanging out of its face. It's fantastic. Googly eyes. It's perfect. Everything about it.
I still should have stole David Price bobblehead from Strobel Stone's office.
I should have inherited it. I mean, I am the Rays fan, but whatever. Whatever.
But I should have just stole it because the Biscuits are on it, David Price. But you're right. You should have gotten it. But then I don't know why I still have not pulled the trigger, not got a Biscuits anything.
I could ask myself the same question. I don't know why I haven't at least gotten a t-shirt.
It's been 15 years since we've seen it.
I know, and every time I see it on fucking MLB The Show, I'm like, God damn it, I really love that logo. I should probably buy some merch.
I wish that team would draft me so I could just stay in the minor leagues forever and be this team.
I just want to be in the minor leagues getting free shit, free clothes from the Biscuits. Clothe me, Biscuits. Clothe me.
I know. I actually need some new gear from the Howlers, so...
Yeah, I'm getting to that point too. The latest gear I bought was the Snow Wolf hat. So I would love Crack Wolf to come back one time.
I don't know. We're gonna get to AEW here in a minute, but I can't do my leg tattoos now. You know that, right? Like I can't do that whole baseball logo thing that I've had. Like it's not good for me now to have tattoos on my leg. The ones that I have on my leg are fine, but to get more on my leg, since I had shit ripped out of my guts that make it down to your legs, it's not good for you.
Can you do the arms still?
Yeah.
Or no?
I can, because I've gotten more since I've had surgery. Now, oh man, I'm a horrible human being for saying this. Now having the left arm just as like my family arm, I can't really do anything with it. Like, I love you, Mom. My mom's on there. Ethan's baby foot's on there. There's spots saved for, like, my dad
Yeah.
And the doggos, and maybe if Kelly still is a decent human being, maybe something Kelly can get. She doesn't listen this long, so
You better hope not. Mark's gonna die again, guys.
Something for her. But like the left arm now, the family arm, and I can't. So I'm upset that I can't do all my baseball logos that I wanted. I don't know where I'm going to put them. I don't have the chest to walk around with like Seawolf on my nips or anything like that. I digress.
That is a visual. Yeah, just have a biscuit on one, and then have a biscuit on one nipple. The Rumble Pony, the butter can be the nip, and then the Rumble Pony. This podcast has gone down the shithole real quick.
Didn't watch Rampage. Didn't even record it. I've stopped recording Rampage now, and it's going to be stopped until you prove me wrong. So let's talk about Dynamite.
Dynamite.
First and foremost, we're going to jump all over the place because I have a lot to say.
Where are you going?
I love that singles Kenny Omega and bastard Kenny Omega is coming back.
Is he though? Or are we going to get the reveal that Callis is fucking around and Kenny's going to turn on Callis? Because in my mind, I see this going. Kenny's going to figure out, and this is going to be I was going to have a rant ready for this next week if it happens. If Kenny Omega does not see a video clip of Don Callis flopping in the middle of the ring next week,
he's not watching. He gave up TV for the month of March. Like you gave up drinking, he gave up TV.
I fucking swear to God, if he's gonna play dumb and be like, "Oh, Hangman hit him," and da 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 da, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed. Like, it's one thing if a ref doesn't see something happening in a match. I can suspend that belief because you're one person and they don't have instant replay. But if you're Kenny Omega and you don't I get it. No, but somebody's gonna show you a cell phone video that has it on there.
Well, it's going to be somebody. It's not going to be next week.
It's got to be. Yeah.
It's going to all come to a head. Don't get me wrong. I don't
agree.
think we're getting bastard Kenny back.
I agree.
But I hope we are getting solo Kenny.
I think we are getting solo Kenny. Don't get me wrong on that. I'm just playing the card of don't make me fucking suspend disbelief that we're not going to get a video of Don Callis flopping to Kenny Omega at some point. But
we're getting it. It's just who's going to show it.
Yeah, and but I'll go back to my point of that was the rant. If it was going to happen next week, I was going to go off that little tangent. But yeah, I don't think we're getting bastard Kenny Omega back. I think we're going to get hints of it. Let's put it that way. Because to your point, if they're not going to do it for the next couple weeks, then we're going to get hints of Kenny Omega being like his just old shitty self, or he's just not going to be able to talk. Because
how does Dapper Yapper do it? The Yapper Dapper,
the bastard pack. So
where the fuck has he been?
Yeah, seriously. Let me ask you this though. Callis is playing a game here. We know he's taking over the interviews for Omega. We know he's trying to drive that wedge. But who's the ace in the hole they already have to take over Kenny Omega here? Who is it? You think it's Punk?
Yeah.
You think it's Punk and Omega right off the bat?
Why not? That's what everybody wants. Yeah. If you're giving me Punk and me or you or Punk and John Silver or Punk and whatever the first time he comes back, I'm gonna be pissed. You need to do Punk and Omega lickety split. Like, if it's the day before Double or Nothing, that becomes your main event, Double or Nothing night. If they cross paths, just on an airplane, one's in Chicago leaving and one's in Sacramento, and they're going to Des Moines, Iowa, and they land at the same fucking time. I don't care how this happens. You can write any story. Would any plane happen to do that, by the way? They have to, right?
All I'm just saying, well, if they're not doing it in North Carolina, then it's a misstep on their part.
I love that that's back.
I love that too. I love that. I literally was like, okay, they were doing their entrances, whatever. I saw El Hijo del Vikingo. I'm glad it completely, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's a cool entrance, like that, like the attire they was wearing. And then Dapper Yapper started talking and doing the intro. I'm like, oh fuck, we're back. So what are we gonna say about North Carolina? And
eat at Burger King
in
North
Carolina.
Yes. I want Bastard Omega to be back, but I'm all right. I mean, what are we gonna get? I don't know. I think this is just. There's gonna be a touch of him and Paige. There's gonna be the Bucks are gonna be a little bit mad at him. But I think Callis and Punk, it fucking makes sense.
I'm starting to. It does, now that you say that, it does make sense. However, I don't think they'll pull the trigger until Double or Nothing. You might as well just do it at Vegas, like they have a match, and for some reason Callis costs Omega the match, and then we have the reveal or some bullshit like that. I would think that would be by far the way they go about doing it, because they're not going to do it in Bakersfield, California, or wherever the hell they're going to end up over the next couple weeks. But
nothing's wrong with Bakersfield. I really like
there's
that.
Nothing. There's
you know Bakersfield song?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Yeah, Dwight Yoakam sings about Bakersfield. It's one of my grandmother's favorite songs. That's why I like it.
Fair enough. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Bakersfield, but they're not going to bring out CM Punk in the middle of Bakersfield. It's either Chicago or Vegas at this point.
Right.
Who's your biggest?
And I still think the return in the match or whatever, everything should be centered around Chicago.
Oh, I think whatever happens in Vegas, and if Punk comes back, the payoff is all out in Chicago.
Yeah.
100%. Because that's too juicy for Tony Khan not to book that match in Chicago, where the fucking whole thing started from. So
let's talk about the Omega and the Son of the Viking, because I'm not even going to attempt to say it, because I butchered it trying to say it, by the way.
El Hijo del Vikingo. I was practicing since I heard how it was pronounced on Wednesday night, so
I need this again. I was in a rabbit hole at work on Thursday when we were done working, just watching the Son of the Viking matches on everything. I love this human being. By the way, he almost killed himself on the spot through the table.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, this was supposed to happen, I don't know, 16 years ago, essentially. Then shit just happened. Oh, this was so good. Like, the rest of the show was chaotic.
Yeah.
So let's start here and just run with it. Unbelievable match. And then even with Paige and the Callis stuff, it kind of made sense and
right.
I need more of him. Like, he needs to leave AAA and be in America. Nothing that's ignorant and mean, but yes. I'm an asshole tonight, by the way, because I'm just still gloating that I am the voice of high ground professional wrestling.
That ego is getting a little too big to get through those doors over there. That's all I'm going to say. But this was a amazing start. I think I'm trying to think spotlight match or showcase match is the term I wanted to use for it, because most of AEW's fans had no idea who this guy was. So they were showcasing a lot of his high spot, a lot of the hot spots that he does. And by God, he hit all of them in the back of his head during some of them. And half of them I thought Kenny Omega died on. That one, that Hurricane Run off the top rope where he landed on his face. Oh my God. I was like, oh no. And like, but holy shit, this guy.
Omega says, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I'm thinking, no shit.
Yeah, you're getting fucking.
He just took you to the ringer and you won the match, but he just took you to the ringer.
Oh my God. When Omega's offense just fizzles down to a V trigger and then the one-winged angel to end it, because that's what it was. The last 3 minutes was Omega hitting 3 V triggers.
Yeah.
And then finally a one-winged angel. He was just getting flipped and flopped and hit every which way to Sunday. But, oh my God, this was a fantastic showcase match for Vikingo. And I'm very happy he's going to be on Supercard of Honor next week. against Commander. I think it is. I think it's against Commander, and that match is going to be all over the god. You talk about chaos of the show. That match alone will just be chaos in the arena.
Just I don't want to tell you to sit down. Just stay out of the way.
Exactly. Yep. We're going to be they are going to be on every fucking person's lap in the fucking first 3 rows of the arena, plus flying, plus any other shit you can think of.
I hated the Orange Derby Sting match with Kip and Butcher and the Blade. Like, first and foremost, why did Penelope get to come out but the bunny didn't? Okay, so that pissed me off at first. I'm like, where's the bunny? She's always with them. And then Sting just knows, like, the Butcher is a big human being. He no-sold everything that the Butcher did to him.
Yeah.
And that's when I said, well, I'm going to let the dogs OUT. And I didn't watch the rest of that match.
Well, to go back on your bunny comment, is she still injured? Because I'm thinking that's probably why, because she was injured in that Jade match. Or I think it was Jade. Or no, it was the Hater match, I think it was.
Hater match. Which, by the way, she wasn't on the show because, and this is bad news, and hopefully she can get this all wrapped up. Her visa.
This happened, what, 6 months ago? I think it must be every 6 months she's running into this issue with this visa.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they can do to kind of help solve that or whatnot, but if your champion's not going to be on for a while, that's going to slow down a lot of fucking storylines unless they just have Britt come out and get taken out.
They didn't even have Britt, though.
Yeah, Britt didn't even come out.
We're bouncing all over. Get there.
We'll get there when we get there. Off the Sting Darby match, I mean, I was just impressed that Orange Cassidy put in the effort to get the face paint on. That was where I was at.
And Tony responded, what does he have on his face?
Taz. It's an O for Orange and a C for Cassidy.
Hello.
But to your point, it wasn't the strongest match I've seen OC have in a while. He's been the Dynamite kickoff guy. Yeah, I think the past month and a half, he's been the opening match for Dynamite.
Was this just to have Darby stare at the sign at the end?
That's where I was going with this. I think this was literally just so Darby stared at the sign, Sting and OC kind of hung out, and that was it. Because OC put the glasses on Sting, tried to make him cool, but Darby's just staring at the sign. And Mark, how is that registering in your mind? Because it seems like we're really we might be really going forward with a fatal 4-way, at least Darby and MJF.
If it's Darby and MJF, it just cannot be all 4.
It can't be.
It
I agree.
Can't be all 4.
It can't be. All 4 doesn't do it. It's too early. I think it's too early. I think that's too early of a thing to put in to play right now.
Yeah.
Do it in a 2 year and a half, 2 years.
Because listen, Darby doesn't have the record to none of them do, honestly. No. Let's throw this out there. Darby doesn't have, to me, the big wins to be considered a heavyweight. That's a heavyweight championship.
Yeah.
He does have the TNT title a couple times. Okay, fine and dandy. So's Guevara. Guevara has been in and out of the promotion for the last 6 months of he's here, he's gone. He did nothing with his wife for the longest of time. Like, as much of a man crush I have on him, he hasn't done anything in 6 to 8 months. Nothing noteworthy. Who else am I missing? Darby is just throwing his body around.
Jack.
And Jack just got, listen, if there's anybody, yes, I would give it to Jack. If I had to pick one of these 4, I would give it to Jack to have a one-on-one match. Do I still think he's got the wins? At least he's got the stories to go. Like, tell me a good story that Darby had that says, oh, he's a heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Nothing, right?
Nothing.
Guevara,
Nothing unless Jericho's in line with it. Yeah.
Right.
Well, to that point with Jack at least has a legend win under his belt.
Right.
He's defeated a legend in the business. So that kind of helps raise his stock. If I were to look at these three guys, Jack by far is the most ready, and not even saying that he is, but most ready to run. Yeah, exactly. That he's in the title hunt. Darby and Sammy are kind of put at the same level of what are you going to do to get past what you're in the shadow of? Because for both of them, they're in the shadow of legends in the business of Jericho and Sting. So what are you going to do to get out of those shadows? And honestly, it's going to have to be you beat them to get out of those shadows and get away from them. But Sting said he's retiring and he doesn't want to fight Darby. I don't know if that's clickbait and maybe there is something bait and switch. Maybe, who knows? Sammy's got to realize that Jericho thing, the JAS is running its course. It's starting, it's starting to sputter a bit.
Here in a second, somebody outshines the JAS.
Yeah. So I think when you're starting to sputter, when do these wheels start falling off, and when do we finally grow up in the sense of let's grow outside of the storyline? Agreed
all across the board. Top Flight and the Guns, listen. It started two new feuds. Because the match itself, whatever.
Yeah.
I like the Guns on the mic. I am working my way around to them. They're bastards. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're pieces of shit. I like that.
They are big pieces of shit, and I hate them, and I have to like it now.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what
still doesn't do shit for me. Nothing. Not a damn thing. They are Barry Horowitz and the Ding Dongs, or Barry Horowitz and Gilbert. Like, listen, they get a win over me and you, but they can't beat anybody else. I don't care about them anymore.
But
so
now,
stop giving us those stupid matches with them, like a ribbon on a pole match. Dante somehow wins or something.
Well, now they're facing the Kingdom. They're going to be on that Kingdom Rise for that, which I'm perfectly fine with. But are they going to? What's the Kingdom going to do?
Hopefully beat their ass.
But here's the thing about the Kingdom, though. What have they won recently?
I think they're getting set up for something in ROH.
That's fair. That is fair. But at the same time, at this point in time, both teams are
garbage.
Garbage. They're not screaming, "Oh, this is going to be fantastic for me to watch or tune into. This is why I'm going to watch Rampage on Friday night, is because of the Kingdom and Top Flight." And nothing against the talent of these four guys, but I'm not invested because I'm not built up for this right now. There's nothing built into this. I just saw the Kingdom attack the Top Flight, and I'm like,
yeah.
Like, if it's BCC, I get that. I bought into that hook, line, and sinker because that's kind of interesting. It's top guys versus Top Flight. Not the top guys, but Top Flight versus some upper echelon. But let's bring that back to the top guys.
About top guys.
Let's bring the top guys into this.
They make their way out. By the way, the stream only starts at 13 minutes and 13 seconds for bananas. So
I just switched over, so we'll see what happens here.
The top guys do come out, and they want their titles back. And they said, well, Dash first says, "Hey, we'll split up. We'll never tag again."
Yeah.
Oh, they don't like that. Dax is like, "We'll just fucking leave AEW. Peace out." The hook, line, and sinker fell for that.
Yeah.
Or did they? Or are they actually leaving in April after this match takes place?
I think that's why they did it that way is, well, the FTR knows.
They're not leaving. I don't care.
They're not. Yeah. FTR knows what they're doing.
Coming back. They're getting
the
championship at some point.
They haven't released any details, whatever. But it provides that, will they, won't they? Because a lot of fans have heard their contract status is up, and with Dax pretty much saying there's things in the works, but we have to wait a couple weeks for legal reasons. No, that's telling me you're waiting for this match And if you win the titles, that tells us you're staying in AEW. And if you lose the title match, you're going to WWE at some point. So I love the ambiguity here because this is something we haven't really seen in a while. We do a lot of loser leaves matches when contracts aren't up and we don't know the status of the contracts or how things are playing out. So they kind of played this pretty well. But to your point, FTR is probably hanging around for quite a bit longer.
Yeah. Just as long as Miro is, at least, because he's still sitting with years on his contract, even though he doesn't want to do
3 fucking years.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to lose the page after Battle Royal.
Right. That would have put him into the number one contendership then, essentially.
It would have been into the stratosphere.
Yeah.
It would have put him in the number one contendership and boosted him into the stratosphere. You've got to be kidding me.
That's on you.
That is definitely on you. There's no reason you can't say, oh, a top guy in this company I might lose to, but I go over in a battle royal to get to him, or I'm in a battle royal and it's me and him and I almost beat him. I'm taking that every day.
Twice on Sunday.
Twice on Sundays. But also, I got to comment on the Guns attire. These people, they're turning so much into Shawn Michaels of early 90s that I'm like dying. Every time I see them, I'm like, good fucking God. One's got the assless chaps, the other one's got the shoulder thing going on.
And then they had the Bobby Balls.
Bobby Balls, yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, good for fuck's sake. So we're paying tribute to Shawn Michaels as we walk out to the ring. I'm waiting for one of them to just start spitting water. Spit water and then have somebody do, oh, you didn't know at some point. And we'll just... It's going to happen.
When's Dad go back with them?
I think that's coming soon.
I do too, because the Acclaimed, not that the Acclaimed ever needed him, but the Acclaimed doesn't need him anymore. Plus, is there something up with the Acclaimed that AEW isn't always every Wednesday for Acclaim every Wednesday? I mean,
they've been relegated to Rampage a lot lately, so I don't know what's going on there, or if maybe they're just playing the game of, well, we need to get somebody that's kind of noteworthy on the show, which it's on Saturday at 10 now, guys, this week anyways. So get excited.
At 10.
At 10.
Saturday. Huh.
Couldn't get any earlier.
Be milking my cows or something. Actually, we haven't said this in a long time. IWC has a event. I don't have cows, you idiot. IWC has an event this Saturday. I believe it's called 22 or whatever. Check it out. It's on Fight. You can sign up for Fight Plus for $4.99 a month. I love IWC. Don't get me wrong. And I want to support them. But I can't get 10 miles down the road for $4.99. So that's why I'm not going. I will watch it at home, here, on my computer, and play MLB The Show at the same time. And be $96 ahead in the game. Essentially. Between gas, food, and a ticket. I $4.99 on Fight Plus, and then you get so much more, too. So, check it out. Jade talks about Valkyrie. We're going to have a match between Layla Gray and Valkyrie, 10 o'clock. Cool. Awesome. When the hell was Stokely part of the Nation of Domination?
He was an honorary member, man. I don't know what to tell you.
What in the right's hell does he have wearing that? And this was god-awful horrible, by the way. Everything about this was just...
I found it hilarious.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Hilarious. Yeah, like... It was Duggan against Bobby Heenan. It was, Jimmy Hart against Bret Hart. It was just... that manager that you knew wasn't going to do anything against, by the way, Hook. Hey, welcome back to Dynamite. I haven't seen you in a while.
Only took him to face Stokely on Dynamite. Fucking doctor's note on the fucking Wingstop receipt. Wait, first he calls the doctor by the wrong name.
Right.
Then he's sick on a Wingstop receipt, was
He's sick.
He's sick.
Not he is sick or
He's sick.
Yeah. It was amazing. It was so stupid that it was good.
Yeah, I agree. And we might be getting Ethan Page. We're apparently getting Ethan Page versus Hook, which now that's a notable name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Matt Hardy was not going to do it. Yeah. But hey, I'll take Ethan Page versus Hook. That's going to be a really good match.
I would like. Listen, let's do something with this FTW title. Like,
yeah,
I know it's personal. It's personal for Hook. It makes sense. But if we're gonna be taunting it around and having it around, let's switch it up every once in a while.
Yeah,
3 people have had it, and nobody's ever really lost it. They just had it ripped away from them.
Fair. Right? Yeah, I mean that's fair.
Adam Cole, baby.
Boom.
And this is where I said I think somebody. Granted, he looked like a broke dick Vin Diesel, but Garcia does not need the JAS in my books anymore. I don't think he should be all in leather though. Like he
was over the top in that
stupid
outfit.
But because he is a pro wrestler,
sports
entertainer, whatever.
Sports entertainer.
I liked it better when he came out with a towel and his trunks on or something like that. But this was really good. Like, I'm excited about this. I listen, we probably know, boom, Adam Cole, baby, is going to kick his ass from here to Chinatown.
Yeah.
But I believed Garcia. I loved everything about Garcia. Adam Cole is amazing. I'm not saying anything that Adam Cole didn't do was great, and he can sell the fucking white pages of the yellow pages. Garcia was awesome.
Yeah. He was fantastic. He played the role. He stood up to him. It was great. I love how he had to catch himself saying pro wrestler. You had that call back, and he had to say sports entertainer to back it off. I loved Adam Cole's callback when he eviscerated Karrion Kross in NXT with the one line, what makes me special? They ring the frickin' bell. And all I thought was, Karrion's having flashbacks right now of this whole thing going down, because that's when his career just kind of went downhill after that. In my career, he became Demolition and then had a lot of BDSM going on for a while. But it was a great story. You're right. Daniel Garcia does not need JS, but we've been saying that for a long period of time now. And now this was another thing in my mind that's like, we should just it's sputtering. Let's just drop it and be done with it.
But what's the next iteration of Jericho with somebody? I'm thinking Jericho needs. Oh, get ready. If you want hate, here it might come.
No, because I'm thinking the same thing probably.
Might be somebody that needs somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. 2.0 is still garbage. Hager's still great. I love him in his hat. Sammy can be by himself or with Ty doing their thing. Is it Jericho that needs people to make him look more relevant?
Yeah.
It's sounding horrible.
This is not, because it might sound horrible, but this goes back to my trios thing. Yes, they interjected them in the trios match, but who really carried that match? It wasn't Jericho wasn't in there carrying that match. It was JAS. It was everybody else in that match. The Ricky Starks match, I think, kind of proved that it wasn't electric. He's not the main character anymore. He's needs people to back him up. And that's where I think he starts fading into that more of a legend status. But you also keep 2.0 and Hager around him, because to me, it's like the inner circle. When they started the JAS, they brought in Hager, they brought in Sammy to keep pieces of that. Now in the next iteration of whatever the Jericho Appreciation Society or Jericho Boom Kumbaya Mother Lovers Society love, it's going to have 2.0. It'll have Hager, but I think Garcia and Sammy are going to get that split off, and they're out. And then it's going to be those guys, and then probably some other young guy that needs the rub from Jericho in that aspect. Jericho's just using this as a funnel to kind of get the guys ready for to do their own thing, and then have them go off. 2.0 and Hager, their strong suits are supporting Jericho. 2.0 to me has
they're
done
great for him.
They're great for him. They have excelled in that role of what they're doing. Hager's just a big muscle guy. He's not big on his own. Let him be the muscle guy for Jericho. Let them have their good time together. But I think it's just we're going to take out two pieces and put in two more. Just interchange them. It was the same thing. They took out Santana Ortiz, replaced them with Garcia 2.0. Yeah, MJF, the pinnacle, that whole thing. It's injecting the new talent, getting them some rub, pulling them out when they're ready, and they're ready to be on their own. So Jericho's like I don't want to say a babysitter clinic, but maybe he's just getting people in, nurturing them up, getting them into the right place. A mentorship program. There we go. Mentor them up, send them out on their way. And that's why Sammy, I think, stayed with him before, because Sammy wasn't there yet. We saw the backstage BS with Eddie and all that stuff. But now I think Sammy's going to get to a point here where he's going to be more, I think, calmed down, able to hold his own head, and can go out in business on his own.
Quick things. Renee and Starks talking about Juice or whatever. I forgot about the Mox Stu Grayson match. What kind of rolls into the next thing we're going to talk about? And then Tony against Sky. It's just the beating, and that was nothing but a beating.
That was.
And Paint and Willow and Rio come out again. That's where. Why didn't Britt at least come out with them? If Jamie's not there, why at least not have Britt?
Yeah.
Willow and Rio still not doing it for me. Still not making it.
It's not a threatening presence because there's no leader for this group right now. Sky's not the leader. Sky's not in that position to be the leader. Willow's not in position to be a leader. She's starting out. She's not in that position yet. Riho, she's AEW World Champion, but she hasn't done much.
5 years ago.
Exactly, and she's just carrying a pipe around now. So, a very colorful pipe. That's what it is right now. So, it's just not doing it right now for them. They're missing that. It's got to be Britt.
It does. So, all right, Mox beats the living snot out of Stu Grayson, and then essentially, does the BCC need to be this group? To me, it's a waste of your ROH and pure champion, and Mox just being absolutely fucking crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why they have them still together or why they're still on the same show. If you wanted to let Claudio and Wheeler run wild in ROH, let them run wild. They're doing great things with fucking Eddie Kingston and all that right now. Let them run wild. But why are you bringing, the whole time with Mox, just let Mox cook.
Yeah.
Let Mox be the fucking wild card that he is on AEW Dynamite. I don't mind Mox wrestling every week, but let him just fucking be on his own. He doesn't need to be a part of a group. We don't need to have this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The BCC to me it hasn't been the BCC since Regal left.
Yeah.
They've just turned into lunatics. They're just people out of the asylum.
They're lunatics on the fringe. They're just all over the place. Yeah, I had to make that comment. I had to make that joke. But I agree with you. It just. What's the payoff? What's the payoff?
Why aren't they attacking the Dark Order? When was the last time they were relevant?
Right now. That's it. Because Stu Grayson, this is the Stu Grayson match.
Signed? We're excited about that. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like him, but
I'm not saying I'm excited about it. I'm just saying, is Stu Grayson going to be the blow-off match for the Dark Order? Is that it? They're just out of the picture now?
No clue. I don't know. But they also have beef. They have beef with Kenny and everybody else, but they don't go. Hangman comes out with a. Why was the 2x4 painted?
I don't know. I don't know, but it was the most cowboy shit that it had nails in the end of it. That's all I'm gonna say. Because,
Right.
But I don't know why it was painted black. So it would stand out more. Just give me fucking rusty nails on the end of a 2x4. I'll believe it.
Yeah, right. I almost got some in the eyes this week at work from a dumpster. Like, it happens. I understand that, but my God, I don't know. Like, now BCC wants nothing to do with Hangman. Like, if he's in the same area code, BCC is leaving.
Yeah.
What are we building up there? But we also have Hangman and Omega. And, like, there's just... I understand multitasking and tying and leading things forward, but you can also tie too many knots that you don't know how to untie the knot that you just tied last. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you have too many stories with one person, you need out of it at some point.
There's got to be a way out. But if you keep putting knots on top of knots on top of knots, you're never going to be able to break that knot, and it's going to be...
Yeah, you can't untie it from the bottom. Something trickles, the sand comes out the bottom.
Yeah.
That's what I don't know what they're doing with a couple people, Hangman, BCC, and Omega. But I guess we have time with Omega and Hangman. The others, I don't know. And then throw Dark Order in, which has always been a clusterfuck as well. So I guess we'll wait and see. That's been longer than 5 minutes on AEW. Let's go take a break. And then, listen, we're going to touch on Raw, on SmackDown, and all that this week because it was a great show. A lot of things happened, but it was also kind of filler. Next week, probably 2.5 hours of WWE, right?
Oh, yeah. Next week, we're kicking it into high gear at that point.
This is Amber Rodriguez, the Plague Doctor, the Mad Esthetician, and Can Crushers podcast just got perfect like me.
Welcome back, everybody, to Can Crushers Nation. We're emanating live from North Carolina. JK. No, not North Kakalaki yet.
Yeah, not yet. That's November.
Not yet.
That's November where we're from North Kakalaki. I don't know if my Twitter's broken or something. Like, if you literally just sent me that, it still is not tagged me in it. Like, you mentioned me or what?
I mentioned you. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I'm broken. Yeah, you'll find it.
I'll find it. Congratulations, by the way, to Tozawa.
Yeah. New baby. Baby girl, right?
Yeah. Yeah. 10. Baby girl 10. So, all right. WWE time. In conglomerate status, essentially, right? Because we're gonna get there, we're gonna get there. There's some things we're gonna question. But did we need, and I'm asking this for reals, do we need Cody really to get Sammy and KO back together?
Well, he's like the father figure they never had in the business, I guess, to that point. And I'm being totally sarcastic when I say that. I honestly don't think we needed that, but I also see the validity in it because it's a third party type thing, kind of the mediator portion of it. It just happened to be Cody Rhodes is our babyface and our guy that's gung-ho WrestleMania. So, yeah, he would be the one that would be perfect to bring KO and Sammy together.
I understand it, that they all have their own beef with the bloodline, and it may kind of go more with the story of feeding it forward, and Roman gets pissed off a little bit more at Cody for bringing these guys together and da-da-da-da-da. But I feel, in true regards of all of this, it should have been somebody else from that ROH time. And I don't know who they have in their pocket that they could have done it with that. Like, they don't have Bobby Fish. He's still floating around doing this thing. Maybe Kyle and Bob together in our like to Adam Cole is back himself. Nigel is kind of like free and clear. You could have brought him in for a week.
Yeah.
I think an RO, but on that same level, you then think ROH, you're like, oh, AEW, this guy's, you couldn't bring in Bobby Cruz or somebody like that.
Right.
It's just there. But I just think like there could have been something more. Am I looking at it too much and saying it makes sense for Cody in the WWE realm? It does make sense. But I would have liked a little bit more story. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love that they're back together. I love the way they got back together. I love that he called him his brother and he still drove away. Ba-da-da-da-da and all of that. And then the hug and yes. And then we'll get the Raw. For my stupid sanity, I would have liked somebody else besides Cody. But it makes sense for WWE.
That's fair. I mean, they have some ROH people in their back pocket to make it work, but in the sense of WWE, it does make sense. To me, I love the storyline. I love Sammy. I love everything he's doing. But to me, this was just played off as a scheme to get KO on his side to go after the bloodline again. And this is nothing against Sammy and nothing against whatever. And we wanted this to happen, and I want this to happen. But the desperate attempt in almost like a last resort to call him his brother, not a friend, almost came across like you're trying too hard to make it stick and to make it work. But it tells the right story because they are brothers. We know they are brothers outside the ring and in it. I don't know why. I just had this feeling like it's not forced. It wasn't forced. Don't get me wrong there. It just felt like Sammy is just on another scheme. And maybe it's because we've been burned with these two time and time and time again, where every time they're together, they break off because one of them turns on the other one, or KO turns on Sammy, or things of that nature. Sitting here watching Sammy kind of just like plead with KO, to me it was just like, what can I say to get you back and to make this work? It's not a disingenuous thing. I think it's just, to me, it was another layer to add on this story. I take it to the extent Sammy's trying to do his best to get KO on board so they can go after the Usos, so he can get his guy in his corner, the devil he knows in his corner, to go after the Usos. That's kind of where it came out for me. I love the story. I love how everything is played out so far. It's just that little bit of storytelling's making me think this is a scheme more than it is brotherly love at this point to make this happen. If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. But
yeah.
Do we get KO with the bloodline after WrestleMania?
Wouldn't that be something?
Like all these thoughts, and by the way, I have to show you. The family was done at 7:00. I thought they will both work till 9.
Oh God.
They had planned to go to the Walmarts.
Okay.
They're buying me that.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Right?
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah. Maybe that'll make it on next week's show. I lost. I don't know. I have so much going through my head right now. Like, don't get me wrong. Again, if Dusty Rhodes' son, Cody Rhodes, wins the championship next weekend, I'm happy. I love Cody. Yes. If he doesn't, I'm okay with that. Like, if KO turns and he joins the bloodline because they got into his here now, and now they're going to beat the shit out of Sammy again. Essentially, that story, I don't know how much legs it has. A couple months, and then you disregard it. I'm okay with that. And then I'm watching TikToks all the time. And they're like, what happens if you hear 1, 2, 3, and then you hear it's in the card. Okay. They're legit buying that for me. You hear the Bloodline song, and then once the Bloodline song hits, then you hear, if you know the smell what the Rock is cooking. I can't even tell. I'm so
if you
excited.
know.
I'm excited. Listen, my wife and child are at Walmart, and they're buying me a Dusty Rhodes figure. That's why I'm excited right now. I have not bought a new figure in years. But you tell me that doesn't look amazing.
Oh, that looks fantastic. I might go to Walmart tomorrow morning just to see if I have one here.
Right. I just am so excited for these two matches at WrestleMania. Do I want new tag team champions? Yeah, I do. I like change every once in a while. Do I want a new champion with Cody? Yeah, I do. But do I want this story to go longer? Yeah, I do. It's just, I know I've been a broken record the last couple of weeks, but this is my favorite thing in the longest time.
Yeah.
Last favorite thing I had was probably Cody against Dustin in the NWA.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It was.
Cody Aldis was good. This trumps it all. I really don't think KO is joining the Bloodline. Don't get me wrong.
No, but I mean, there's the other possibilities that we've talked about already. Is Jay actually leaving the Bloodline, and this is a whole ruse to take over,
right?
Basically, usurp the Bloodline. There's so many elements at play here, and again, guys, we're gonna harp on this. The Bloodline storyline is the best storyline in the past 20 years, bar none. Period. So this has been so well thought out and so well told that there's so many fucking possibilities that it could go any way to Sunday. I imagine this is how people that actually read books feel like when their story is so good that they don't know where it's going to go.
Harry Potter's next book.
Yeah, you're sitting there, you've read the book, and you're like, holy shit, what's going to happen next? Because you've read this book, and you're like, what the fuck is going to happen next? This is what people that read feel like all the time, guys. I don't know what to say.
Should we start reading?
I don't know. I feel like I need to. The girlfriend's an advocate for it, so I might have to start reading just to see if I can still get this thrill.
I have a ton of books, by the way. I have a ton of books. I have a lot of books that I like.
I have a shit ton of books. I have an autobiography about Dave Grohl that I haven't finished reading yet. That I started Christmas. I do have a bobblehead from him. Still not close to meeting him though. But whatever. We'll get there. Baby steps. But this must be how people that read books feel. I don't know.
Maybe we'll start reading to everybody.
Story time with Can Crushers, baby.
Boom. I hate that they're destroying Santos and Vega. Absolutely destroying them. And it's been for the last couple of weeks. By the way, Vega's gear, I want to give her props because Vega's gear over the last couple of weeks has been unbelievable. She is so anime and so video game that, listen, if this is all I hate to say it this way, if this is all she's going to bring to the table because she's going to keep getting beat to shit by everybody, at least she looks awesome in it. Yeah. And I'm not saying it sexually or anything. I love everything she's doing with her character.
I completely agree with that. I don't know why they keep burying them, though. Santos should be to the moon right now.
No shit.
I don't understand it. I don't get why. Who pissed off who? That's what I want to know, because this is what this feels like. Santos or Vega or somebody pissed off the wrong people.
Well, Vega is hated there because she wants a union.
Yeah, that's true.
After her real contract is done, do they bring her back?
Probably not. And maybe it's guilt by association for Santos. I don't know.
Really, Raquel and Liv? I can't get behind them. Like, both of them solo, I'm behind.
Yeah.
Are they the winners to the? Did they give us the winners week 1 of this whole thing?
Probably, but I need Raquel to turn into a fucking monster again.
Yeah.
Like, I needed this when she debuted.
When crazy being Extreme Live.
Exactly.
And now we're back to puppies and fucking rainbows live.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I love puppies and rainbows. But I'm just saying, like, her character changed so much recently again.
Liv functions best in that psychotic maniac type role. Extreme Liv or Riot Squad Liv, where she was basically the Harley Quinn of the group. She thrives in a Harley Quinn type role. Raquel thrives in being strong woman. Beast mode. Raquel. We need to get back to that. I don't know how we get back to that, but we need to get back to that for those two women to really showcase their talents. But they're not going to, because they're struggling to put together a women's division. And I hate to say it.
Tag team titles. And I hate to say that.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, but that's the only reason this showcase match is taking place, is so that they can say, we have tag teams and they're going to challenge for the tag team titles, but they're thrown together in a mismatch type opportunity. Build the teams back up. Make it happen. Make it natural. And stop breaking apart. I'll still say this till my last breath. Stop breaking apart women's teams when you so desperately need them.
Who is... Listen, Natty's going to be at WrestleMania. Who is she going to get thrown together with to be on the card? We have one team so far, and it's Liv and Raquel.
Yeah.
Because if Chelsea and Piper would have won, they got, as we're bouncing over to Raw now, they would have moved on to this match.
Yep.
Well, they got tossed to the wayside because Becky and the Legends come out and Damage Control is out.
Yep.
Like, they were just in the middle of nothing.
That was exactly it.
On TV, okay, but they don't mean anything because here's the Legends that are just taking over time in Damage Control, which should break up.
Yeah. Or get a new leader.
Right.
That.
Because Bayley was put... Listen, Rhea and Charlotte, and we're just going to continue to ramble and real. You were thinking we're mad at WWE. We're not mad at them. They're just comprising way too much, way too fast that it doesn't make sense sometimes. Ripley destroyed Charlotte, Bayley, anybody that walked into her path this week. Okay. She should have been doing that since Rumble.
Yep.
So now you're going to tell me we have to pay attention to Ripley. The last week and a half when Charlotte was beating people's asses.
Because they forced the issue because Charlotte and her got into a brawl, which was finally needed. It needed to happen.
February.
It needed that. Yes, February outright. They needed to do something. This needed some sort of injection into the veins to get this thing going and get people really cared about this. Now they finally got this. So now Ripley's on a warpath. Great, fantastic. But to your point, this should have been happening since Rumble. Line them up. Ripley, knock them down. Make them the threat. Make her the threat to Charlotte.
Damage Control. Run through everybody.
Do what you did for Asuka. If Asuka went through and destroyed, was knocking people down, squashing people left and right, went into the chamber, decimated people. Ripley, same thing. Like, I get the whole, you had to blow off Edge and Finn, Beth and Rhea. You could have did that after Mania to give everything, to let everything go.
Like a match that anybody cares about.
Exactly. Give Backlash something so that they can circle back to. But they didn't want to do that. And now Rhea's kind of been just left in a dark hole playing second fiddle to Dom's prison Dom.
Shenanigans.
The Dom shenanigans. And now they're bringing her back out. And it's like, give her something to beat her up. It's too late. But you know what? By God, somehow she's probably going to win this title this time. And they did the build all wrong. When WrestleMania 36, they did the build, I think, at least decently enough to make her believable to win the title. And they screwed her then. So now they did the complete opposite. So she's got to win, right? Is that how that works?
She has to. I really mean she has to, because she takes this loss, which it's got to be Saturday night's main event, Not Saturday night's main event, Saturday night at WrestleMania. That's hello. It's got to be the main event, right?
Yeah, I would say
again, because I still don't think the build up between Asuka and Bianca's there.
I don't think they're giving the women a main event. I'm going to say it right now. You have pushed so hard. They haven't built up the matches, the women's matches to do that, to be the main event level. This feels like it's bloodline across the board, both nights. The tag titles are the main event from night one. The heavyweight titles, the main event for night two. The women's titles have not been built up enough to be at relevance or at the same level of relevance as the men's.
As much as I hate to say it, I agree.
I hate saying it myself, but it's accurate. Like, this doesn't feel like the importance is not there, like it was for Sasha and Bianca, or like it was for the triple threat with Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda. Hell, it doesn't even feel like the importance is here for the triple threat back at 32 with Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha, or Mercedes now. That had more importance than these two women's matches that should be in the main event of the show. They don't have those. They're not there.
And both titles are changing hands. That's my spoiler right there. I think you're getting two new women's champions.
I'll spoil it too. I agree with you. Bianca's got to be back, got to revolve back to the chase. She's chasing the title again. Charlotte is probably going away for a couple months or doing something else for a couple months. Rhea needs this title and needs to be dominant in her championship reign. We do want that, but it needs to start at WrestleMania.
And I think it's going to be, I don't think the build is there, but I think a nice 2-3 pay-per-view battle for Ripley would be with Gonzalez or whatever hell Raquel's last name is right now. Rodriguez, whatever.
Rodriguez, yeah.
That would be, those are two big beefy women that would just carry a good show.
It would.
But it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen right away. I'll make this spoiler for you. You want a prediction? Philadelphia, WrestleMania 40, Bianca and Ripley for the SmackDown Women's title.
I'll take it.
I think that's going to happen because I think Bianca's going to be chasing the entire year, or maybe she'll flip-flop with Asuka a couple times or whatnot, fall victim to Money in the Bank. I think her and Ripley, that is a main event match for night one of WrestleMania, and I think they have to go. I think they pull that trigger next year.
And then I'll take the Raw one. It's Becky Asuka to get that title back on Becky, to wrap it all the way back around to 2 years ago when Becky handed her that title.
Yep.
And maybe Becky has the Money in the Bank and holds it for a while. That's not going to happen. But it will be Becky and Asuka.
Yeah, it will be. Well, now wait a minute. Let's play that card. What if it does happen? What if Becky wins that title and walks? Maybe we don't get that at WrestleMania right away. Becky walks up to Asuka and says, I handed you this briefcase 3 years ago, with the women's title in it. I'm cashing it back to get my title back. SummerSlam. They just announced a match for SummerSlam, and then that's a whole build to next year's WrestleMania where they have a final blow-off match between the two women. That's a story.
Yeah.
That would be a hell of a way to tell that story.
Copyrighted Can Crushers, WWE, if you don't think about it.
I'll take my check in the mail or direct deposit if you must.
Banger after banger after banger. We finally get it there. It's Drew, Sheamus, and Gunther. That took a little while, but
it took longer than it needed to, but we got the three beefy men slapping meat. The match is set.
I'm excited about that.
I'm excited to see the brutality, the hamburger chests that are going to come out of this match, because people are going to be purple and shit, and this is going to be a fucking great match.
This is going to steal one of the nights. I don't care what night it is. It's going to steal one of the nights.
What a banger that would be if that's night one, match one. Your opening contest is those three for the Intercontinental title.
You don't want to go on second.
No, you don't, because you're done. You've lost to that match already, and we're not even there yet. You already lost. Hell, I'll even go, if you're not the main event, you're losing to that match.
Yeah.
And there's a Hell in a Cell match that's floating around here at some point.
That nobody I don't care. Nobody cares about.
Nobody cares about. People are going to care enough that the Demon's coming back. I don't know about Brood Edge, but Demon's coming back. That's something people would care about, but that's a spectacle in the match.
Yeah.
It's not what's driving the match.
Yep. On Raw, Theory Ford. Damn, this was a good match.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. We have our Ford's coming out part, another Ford coming out party.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited to see where the Cena thing goes, but I almost want Ford to interject himself. And granted, he's not going to, because he's part of men's
Mega Man.
Which, let's talk about that for a minute. And I'm really pissed. Listen, they have the Monsters of the Midway, which is bull. They have the Street Profits, which, listen, you damn near have them broken up. You have Alpha Academy, which are broken up, but you're going to put them back together to do whatever the hell they're going to do. And then, holy shit, the Vikings are back on TV again.
Yeah.
Why does anybody, if there's one person, even who is Nicholas, that won the tag team championship with Braun, doesn't even give two shits about this match? What does this match do for any of them? I just told you, Street Profits breaking up. They're damn near broken up, or they're going to go their own ways. Maybe not Keith around it, but they're going their own ways. Otis is bigger than the fucking Alpha Academy now.
Ever was.
Yeah, and I'm going to get to that. Nobody in God's green earth gives two shits about Braun Strowman or Ricochet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Vikings are so irrelevant that they've buried them from when they were called the War Raiders until now.
Yeah. As soon as they hit the main roster, they got buried. There's nothing.
Who gives two shits about this match?
Here's your match, too. Here is your...
We have tag teams.
We need to fill a space in the card, and we know you're not going to pay attention because Sheamus, Drew, and Gunther just tried to kill each other.
If this isn't right after that, it's blasphemy.
If it's not, and then I think the women's match follows probably the Hell in a Cell, because whether you want to say that, whether you like the storyline or not with the Hell in a Cell match, it's still a spectacle match, right?
It's going to be cool.
There's going to be cool. There's going to be cool spots. So the crowd's going to need to have a downer match afterwards to kind of calm them down, bring them back down so that they can make it through the end of the night. Tag team matches galore. This is where the women's match comes in. This one comes in after that. They have those spectacle matches where they're like, okay, we're just going to plant this guy here. We're going to do this one here. We'll get there. The 6-woman tag, the Legends and Becky versus Damage Control, whether you want it or not, that's another cool down match. It's
Omos and Brock.
Omos and Brock. You know, the only reason you're watching that fucking match is to watch Brock F5, a 7-foot, however fuck tall he is.
Yeah.
7'2" tall guy. That's what you're watching that match for. Yeah, those are your cool down matches. So those are the ones are going to be the ones that are like, okay, you're strategically put in here because we need a bathroom break and we need to get this crowd back down to an acceptable level until we get to the next match.
So we can give you, get ready, Seth against Logan Paul.
Yeah. That, because, and if you don't think that match is going to be fire, you're living under a goddamn rock. You're stupid living under a rock. I don't
care if you like Logan Paul or not. Whatever. He is awesome. This is going to be, I hope this isn't on the same night as the IC Championship match.
I'm going to go as far as say this steals the match, steals the show for the whatever night it's on. If it's not on the same match as the IC title match. I don't think it should be. I'm going along with you. I think this would be the other show-stealing candidate because they're going to fucking tear the roof down. Seth Rollins can carry a match. Logan Paul controlled chaos. The guy flies around like nothing. And we saw what he did with Roman. That was a pretty good match. That was a hell of a good match. So this is gonna be spectacular. Now it's not gonna be him and Ricochet throwing their bodies at each other and splatting in the middle of the ring. I hope it does too. I don't know how, or somebody figures out a way to kick the other one in midair or something like that. But Jesus Christ.
We're really just throwing shit around. Floating Edgehead was so. Did you see this promo? Did you watch all of Raw, or did you see clips? Or I don't care.
I saw it, yeah.
This Floating Edgehead was so stupid. Like, that was his promo, and I'm like, again, it's just like, I understand we have a legend on the show. Okay, whatever.
I hated it. I just hated it. Like, I don't understand. I guess you need some stupidity at some point, or just some. You know what? They've been going so good for so long. Something's just not going to stick. And this was it. This was your fucking. We've tapped out our writers.
Yeah.
Floating head. Let's go for it, and let's hope it runs wild.
Again, if we didn't mention, I don't remember if we mentioned it or not, Muda has been elected into the Hall of Fame. Flair is going to induct him, which, oh my God, be prepared for that.
Yeah.
And earlier this week, Andy Kaufman confirmed to go in. That's pretty cool.
I love that one. That was a great one. I think that one's long overdue.
And still trying to work out the deals with Stacy Keibler. We don't know if it is. So as of right now, we got Muda. We have Andy Kaufman.
And then Bray.
So we only have 3. And possibly, and I think they shouldn't do any more because it's on right after SmackDown, right?
SmackDown. Yeah. So.
And it's only an hour? Or are you going 2 hours? I mean, I didn't go forward and look ahead or anything, but.
I feel like it's only an hour or 2, maybe. Like maybe an hour and a half.
So they shouldn't do more than 4, maybe 5.
I would say 5, because I think 5 gets you that you get 15 or 20 minutes, do your thing or whatever it ends up being. I think the Stacy Keibler one, I think is pretty close, because I don't know if you saw this, but she posted on Instagram. She's like, I'm coming out of.
Yeah, she's back.
She goes,
after 6 years.
Yeah, she's like, you know what, I did my mother thing. I've become a mother, yada, yada, yada. I'm ready to come back out again. So I think that might come down probably tonight or Monday. But so that's 4. I don't know who 5 would be at that point. There's speculation. We know it's not Batista. Is it a big name, or is it?
It's going to be another, and I hate to say it, somebody that's alive, because Kaufman's the one going in
post-mortem. Yeah, right? Posture. Yeah, I can't say that word, but he's passed away, so he's not going to be there in person.
Yeah.
I don't know who it would be. I know Lawler would probably induct him in that regard.
Would make the most sense.
Yeah. So, well, we haven't even. Is the Warrior thing still an award now? We don't even know if that's still an award to be handed out.
Like, this whole Hall of Fame has been hush, 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 hush.
Hush, hush. And that just makes me wonder, they didn't have deals in place with people because people weren't sure if they wanted to do it.
Well, yeah, because of what's going on.
Yeah.
WWE is still for sale, folks.
It's still for sale. And now, well, air quotes, for sale probably. And Johnny Pervert's back and pretty much running things again, seems like, because now wrestling's banned again. For fuck's sake. So, but
let's leave it here, and we'll have a lot to talk about next week for WrestleMania. But we said WWE, when we knew that they were for sale months ago, they wouldn't be sold until after this next coming weekend. There's enough buzz now, don't you think?
Yeah.
That somebody pulls the trigger and says, holy shit, they really are doing some cool things. Maybe we should pay that $9 billion.
Yeah.
Whatever the
Let's
hell.
pay it.
It is billion, right?
9 billion, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we should pay that. There's buzz. Oh my God! Did you see that Hollywood had 37 million people there? Holy cow! Be prepared.
That's why keep
still.
They keep.
Go ahead.
I was going to say they keep leaking that ticket number of 62,000 has been sold for each night of wrestling. So they're filling over 60,000 people in the stands. Oh my God! Look at that ticket gate. Look at the ticket gate they're going to do in London in 3-4 months when they go over there in July, because I'm sure Wembley's going to be sold out, and I think it already is sold out.
I think it already is. Yeah.
Yeah, Wembley's already sold out. Detroit's probably going to sell out for SummerSlam now. These things are falling in line. The ticket sales are there to back it up and say, we are a hot commodity and we are back with a vengeance.
Or is that sale already done and they're just going to release it the Tuesday after WrestleMania? That's what I'm... Maybe. I mean, I don't know. But I think when it comes... Like, it has been on, the sale has been on the back burner for a while now, for about a month. You say a month because it's been WrestleMania season.
Right.
We haven't heard, from the day that, the Saudis were buying it, to Comcast is buying it, to the 40-year Dash is buying it, to the Paranormal is buying it. Like, everybody was buying it. Now nobody's buying it. Vince is back. Was this a scheme? Ponzi scheme?
You know what? Let me throw out the last possible one. We haven't talked about it. Nobody's talked about it. What if this is just they've sold it to Stephanie, Trips, and Nick, and Vince is there to see them through a WrestleMania season and help kind of guide them and be like, okay, this is how you get through this big granddaddy of them all. This is how you navigate these waters. And Vince is literally only there to be a consultant. And Monday night on Raw, they come out, and the first thing you hear about is not the Bloodline. It's not Cody Rhodes with the titles. It's Triple H saying, there's been a change in leadership. Suck it. I now own the company. What if that's the big... Now, I think that is the most optimistic end to this whole goddamn thing.
No, and Shane comes out and says, "Oh no, you really didn't look at the contract from 22 years ago."
Or no, even better, Stephanie's the one that comes out and announces it. And he comes out and goes, "It does say McMahon on the contract, but it says Shane McMahon," and then we'll go through that whole spiel again. Or maybe it's Linda. Where the fuck? Linda hasn't been doing much. Maybe Linda will come out and be the one owning it, and appoint Stone Cold the CEO again, and it'll be all good.
I don't know. Jenks, I love you.
I love you too.
We talk and then that's it. We love each other. Goodbye.
We do. We talk. We have our fucking conspiracy theories going on boards. We have string attached to all of them, and then we just let it go. Yeah. We let you guys ponder if we're actually mentally stable or not at the end of the show.
We are not. Let's just throw that out there. Not at all are we mentally stable. I missed appointments this week because of that. No.
Listen, hey, wrestling makes us remember that there are books that can be read that leave you on the cliffhangers.
Right.
And apparently if we read, we know what the fuck we experience a whole new world. But that's what wrestling gives us.
All right. Oh my God, I actually thought there was a tractor trailer in the outfield. Next week we're going to be doing a lot of...
How the hell can I fucking focus when you said there's going to be a tractor trailer or whatever the fuck you said was in the battlefield? I don't know. Now I'm only seeing the guy in the booty shorts and the fucking cowboy hat pitching right now.
You need to rewind it or whatever.
No, here we go. That's going out. Where the hell did you see a tractor trailer or whatever you saw?
It's a sign on the wall.
Oh, I did not see that
tractor
sign.
Trailer. That's a sign. No,
okay.
Less.
All right.
Next week, a lot of speculation on WrestleMania. We will talk minimally on AEW unless something big happens. Until then, for fuck's sakes, just deal with us. Remember, Just because I'm trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
Mark, you're a garbage can, not a garbage cannot. And everybody make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them.
Because you never know.